Hello, welcome to Module 2 of PA 460. You made it through the first module. It's a lot of work, but you'll get into the swing of things here. And this week I will go through like I did last week, but just concentrating on the Module 2 assignments. So we'll go to the overview. Here are our learning objectives. This is the video that you're watching now. And you will see we have the same setup as last week. So there's review part 1, and that's chapter 3, understanding public policy making. There's a couple videos there. I'll show you that in a second. Review part 2, introduction to policy analysis, and that's read chapter 4, policy analysis from the ebook. And there are 2 videos there as well. So you will have a discussion similar to last week, and that would be to watch the TED Talk, Racism Has a Cost for Everyone by Dr. Heather McGhee. And like last week, everyone submits on Thursday, by the end of Thursday, and then you need to reply to another classmate prior to the end of Saturday for 1 point. Sometimes people forget to do that and lose out on that point. And then you have exercise 2, instruments of public policy. And I noticed from those who have taken the first exercise, it's very important to make sure you have handy, literally print it, or accessible on your computer, the lists that I have for you for each of these exercises, which has all the definitions. And to review it first, review that list several times, a couple times, and then take the exercise. So once you start, you can't stop. And that will help you. But you use it while you take the quiz. It's not cheating. This is about getting a situation and analyzing which of these terms, and this week it's instruments of public policy, is best associated with the situation. And there will be times where certain situations could have a few different elements, but what's the best that fits that situation? Okay, then you have your reading quiz 2, that's chapters 3 and 4. Similar to last week where you had chapters 1 and 2. So we go here, that's a self-portrait, I'm kidding, but I wouldn't mind the cash. And we look at different public policy theories, elite theory, group theory, institutional theory. These are all in your text. This is, again, a summary of what's in the text, but I would read the text first because it has a lot more content and contextual information that helps you understand each of these. Rational choice theory. I've added the theory of bounded rationality here because that's important. The text doesn't go into that. And the difference between rational choice theory, which is saying as rational actors, individuals seek to maximize attainment of their preferences or further their own self-interest. Bounded rationality, Simon, says that individuals will seek to maximize attainment of their preferences or further their own self-interest, but are limited by cognitive limitations, information imperfection, or information asymmetry. So they may not have all the information to make the best decision, or it's time, they need to make a decision quickly and they just go that way. So there's different things controlling how rational one can be. It's bounded in the situation, the contextual situation, and sometimes that leads to suboptimal decisions. You have a video here. This is a public policy analysis. This is just a general video. You'll hear some things in there that may sort of conflict with what we're dealing with later, next module, actually, with the performance measurement. They'll use the term impact, where we might, instead of impact, say outcomes. And outcomes, sometimes he will use where we would say outputs. So just is for informational purposes, go through, listen. There's a lot of other different types of analyses that he goes into at the end, which are good to know, but we're not going to be getting into too many of those near the end of the video. The public policy process, so table 3.1, and this is in your text, and this has to do with the process of legislation going through the system and becoming law, etc. So this is the process itself rather than the policy analysis model, which we'll talk about in chapter 4. Sometimes these get confused, but make sure to notice the difference between the two. You have typologies. Here is a lecture that I recorded. It is a couple years old, so there may be some references that are incorrect regarding which administrations in office, etc. And it was right as COVID was taking off, so there's more references there than usual. But that being said, it does cover what I would like you to refer to instruments of public policy for this course. Other books, other disciplines will have different names for public policy instruments. This is a good summary combination, of a couple different things that are in the text that we're going to use. So when I ask you about instruments of public policy, you are going to go to this list here. You may find something else online with different terminology, etc. For the sake of this course, please use this list and this list only. And then I have here where you will download this, print it, or have it handy so that you can use this when you're taking the exercise 2, and make sure you review this first. One thing to know about these, and I do mention this a lot in the presentation, is that you can have multiple instruments of public policy happening at once. Usually you do. You can have an instrument of public policy that can be also another component, could be another instrument. For example, market mechanism could also be a subsidy, etc. So we'll go to the next item, and this is the part 2, and we have the policy analysis question. It's Dr. Deborah Stein, and she does a good job of having to create a policy question for policy analysis, how you want to approach an issue objectively and scientifically. So that's a good one to pay attention to. And then forming that policy analysis question, from her presentation, there's the bad example and a good example. Make sure to note that for your future assignments. And then we go from the policy process in chapter 3 to the policy analysis portion in chapter 4. And there's a different figure 4.1, which has the policy analysis process. So this is looking at the policy, choosing a policy, and evaluating the effectiveness of the policy. It's not concerned with actual legislative process. And we continue going down. We have orientations to policy analysis. There's 3: scientific, professional, and political. The most rigorous is going to be scientific. I hope you all get that right. The hint, hint. And then the least will be political, obviously, because it's biased. And then we have a video on think tanks. It's rather short to watch, what they are exactly, and how they can be political sometimes as well. You have your discussion 2, TED Talk. Again, make sure to put your response in before the end of Thursday, and then afterwards come back and respond to another post so you get maximum points. Don't forget to do that. You will not be able to see other posts until you post your own post for that discussion. Here's the instruments of public policy. And again, make sure to review the sheet that I'm giving you, the document, and to watch the instruments of public policy first, so that you don't make some common mistakes. And then you have the reading quiz, chapters 3 and 4, and then you are done for this module for the week. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can email me anytime, and I will try to get back to you within 24 hours I will see you next week. And hopefully you are enjoying the course. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to tell me those as well.